Santa may fly his sleigh around the world, but get ready to hop on Swiss trains as we bring you the very best Christmas markets in Switzerland.
If we haven't met, we're Jana and Brett, Aplins in the Alps, and we help you travel Switzerland with confidence. Today, we're going to cover our top 3 favorite Swiss Christmas markets. Then we have a little bonus surprise for you. Don't worry, it's not coal in your stocking. And we'll wrap up with the ultimate Swiss Christmas market itinerary.
If we could pick only one Swiss Christmas market to visit, we'd go to the one voted as Europe's best Christmas market in 2021, Basel. Why do we rank Basel so high? Well, there are actually 4 different Christmas markets sprinkled throughout the city, and each one has its own unique character. You'll know you're in Barfußerplatz when you see the giant Christmas pyramid. The first time I saw those life-size candles lit up, we were actually riding a tram past this square, and my jaw totally dropped open. This whole market, which wraps around the church, is nice, but that pyramid is truly the star on top of the Christmas tree. Look for the Käsebängel, a delicious baguette filled with steaming hot raclette cheese. But beware, take your time or that cheese will burn your mouth. And if you chomp down too hard, it will erupt all over you like a volcano. We also bought a variety of different cookies to sample, including the famous Basler Leckerli and Zimtsterne, which are cinnamon stars. This is also a great spot to try Glühwein, which is a warm wine flavored with traditional Christmas spices. Most markets sell both red and white, so pick whichever type you like best. We tend to enjoy the white Glühwein better, but we won't turn down a glass of either one.
It's worth noting that there's kind of a special way hot drinks work at Swiss Christmas markets. Instead of a disposable cup, you're often given a real one, and usually the markets have a special cup and a new design every single year. So when you buy your Glühwein, you're actually paying for the warm drink and a deposit for the cup. So when you drink it all gone, you're nice and warm and toasty, you have 2 options. First, you can take your cup back to where you purchased it or to one of the dish stands and get your deposit back. Or second, you can keep the mug as a souvenir, which is what we have done with some of our favorite designs.
From here, you can walk along the lit up shopping street to the next market, Münsterplatz. This sprawls out in front of the cathedral with a giant twinkling Christmas tree and of course, chalet-like stalls. This particular market was great for food. My favorite Anna's flavored Christmas cookie is from Anna's Paradies, and Jana cannot resist the fried apple rings with vanilla sauce called Apfelkuechli. Yes, that word is a mouthful, but it's worth trying to pronounce so you can enjoy this delightful apple dessert. By the way, you can pretty much buy food and drinks and gifts at nearly every Christmas market. So instead of telling you everything you can do and buy at every market, we're just sharing some of our highlights from each one. There's also an amazing kids area here called Märchenwald, with fire pits and train rides and gondola cars and cookie decorating spaces or candle making classes. I mean, how fun to be a kid in Switzerland. We cannot wait to bring our son here when he's a little older. Next, you can cross the river to Adventsgasse, a street lined with quieter food stalls and fire pits and restaurants. This is a nice spot to sit down and enjoy a meal. We did a Swiss Christmas markets tour with Jana's parents, and her dad loves to try beer from all over the world and was on the hunt for a Christmas beer. And would you believe he found a glue beer here? So if that's on your list to try, you can definitely find one here at Adventsgasse. Lastly, look out for the magical courtyards throughout the city, which are tranquil and quiet with beautiful lights and decorations. An added bonus of making Basel your base for visiting Swiss Christmas markets is, well, you'll just have to wait, and we'll discuss that here in a moment.
The next one on our list is most well known for its flying Santa. It ranks a close second to Basel, so if we had time for 2 Christmas markets on our Swiss vacation, we'd add Montreux. The Montreux Noel Market runs along Montreux's promenade on Lake Geneva. It starts by the giant Ferris wheel in Market Square. If you're hungry, definitely plan time in this covered market. Both years we've visited, we've always eaten at La Grange. It's kind of like a cafeteria with a bunch of delicious homemade hot dishes, and you pay for your plate by the weight. I swear that this market makes the best chimney cakes of any market in Switzerland. That is quite a bold statement, I know. But if you haven't tasted the divine combination of a sweet dough roasted over an open fire and topped with cinnamon sugar, don't wait any longer, try it here. Along the outdoor promenade, you'll find hundreds of stalls selling Christmas drinks, snacks, gifts, crafts, and decor, as well as a few cozy restaurants that we absolutely love. You could easily spend an hour or two just perusing from one end of the market to the other. Between the boat dock and Market Square is where you can watch Santa fly overhead after dark. It's pretty magical, even as an adult, to watch him waving down at you with sparks flying out from behind his sleigh. In particular, we love tasting different recipes of glühwein at Montreux Noel, roasting our own sausage over the barbecue, and enjoying a crispy Flammkuchen in front of a giant fire pit. Lastly, Montreux is famous for hosting Santa's house at Rocherdonnet. Now, we haven't been able to visit Santa there yet, but if you have kids, it seems like a can't-miss experience to ride the special Christmas train, meet Santa in person, and even get a surprise gift.
Our third-ranked Swiss Christmas market is, you probably guessed it, Zurich. Now, it's not a contender for first or second place in our opinion, but there are just so many markets with different vibes and atmospheres that it would be a shame to miss out on them. As soon as you arrive in the Zurich train station, you're welcomed into Switzerland's largest indoor Christmas market. We've seen a lot of trees lit up, but the giant Christmas tree decorated with oversized Lindt chocolate balls was one of the most memorable. But if we only had time for one market while in Zurich, we'd head straight to Sechser-Leuten-Platz. This spacious piazza in front of the Opera House is transformed into a wooden wonderland. The ceiling of white lights amplifies the charm beyond the alleys of shops and restaurants. With so many options for food and places to sit, we had a hard time deciding what to enjoy first. We spent at least an hour here and bought a few sweet treats to enjoy while we walked to the next market. One of the most notable icons of the Zurich Christmas market scene has to be the singing Christmas tree. We actually showed up a bit before the performance so we could buy a hot drink to keep our hands warm while we listened to the tunes. Then we crowded together with loads of people to watch the singers find their spot in the tall tree and serenade us with Christmas classics for 30 minutes. You can also wander through the Niederdorf neighborhood, past spread out food stalls with cuisine from all over the world. We stopped for Langosch and can never pass up Cevapcici. The market ends near Grossmünster Church, where you'll find more market stalls. But don't forget to check out the terrace overlooking the river. Finally, there's another market near Münsterhof, which we found to be smaller and quieter than the rest. There were a few great picture spots here that were popular with the kids too.
Now, the truth is that the markets in Basel, Montreux, and Zurich are great enough to put them in our top 3. But each of them have a little bonus surprise, kind of like thinking you'd open all of your Christmas presents only to find one more under the tree with your name on it. And that bonus present is this. Basel, Montreux, and Zurich have great markets themselves, but they're also great home bases for exploring additional Christmas markets just a short train ride away. We're going to tell you about those in a second, but first, here's a few tips just to help you plan your time at Swiss Christmas markets. All of the markets we mentioned in this video are open from either late November or early December through at least December 23rd.
Ideally, you would fly into Zurich and out of Geneva, or do this in reverse. By flying into one airport and out of the other, it allows you to visit all 3 of our top Christmas markets without doing any backtracking.
Most markets are open in the afternoon through the evening, so if you really wanted to maximize your time, you could visit some during the day and some in the evening as well. But as you can imagine, they are the most magical after dark.
Most vendors take credit cards, but it's a good idea to have some Swiss francs as well.
Every market or town that we've been to has free public bathrooms available whenever the Christmas market is open.
As you can imagine, it's cold during Christmas time, and most of these markets are outdoors. So bring your warmest clothes, boots, scarves, hats, and gloves so you can enjoy the festivities without freezing your tush off.
Nearly every market has food and drinks and gifts to buy, but some are just themed with like only food or only crafts, so be sure to look up those specific details when you're planning your trip, which you can find in our blog post linked below.
There are also markets we really like in other places, especially smaller towns and villages, but they're often only open for maybe a day or 2. Be sure to check out myswitzerland.com for info and dates on all of the Swiss Christmas markets, and we highly encourage you to check out a few of those smaller markets during your trip. For example, the markets in Grindelwald, Spiez, and Interlaken, as well as the Wengen Mulled Wine Festival, are all worth visiting if you're coming to our hometown area of the Jungfrau region.
All right, now it is time to unwrap that bonus surprise to see which additional markets you can explore by using those top 3 destinations as a home base. So if you're staying in Basel, you absolutely need to take the 45-minute direct train to one of the most epic fairy tale towns we have ever been to. And as an added twist, it's not even in Switzerland, it's across the border in France. We arrived in the late afternoon so we could admire the town before nightfall. Then we ate and drank and shopped our way through the markets in the evening. At Christmas time, the 6 main squares twinkle with lights, are warmed by wooden stalls, and overflow with the sound of joyful music and cheer. I know, it sounds like it's not even a real place, but we promise you won't want to miss Colmar, France. Here's what stands out about our visit to this French Christmas market. Discovering how each square had different stalls, different lights, and different themes, from gourmet food to arts and crafts to regional specialties. Standing in front of the giant Ferris wheel, eating Flammkuchen straight out of the oven, eating French cheese, of course, and sampling the diverse cookies and fruitcakes. And here's one more bonus from your bonus. You can also visit Strasbourg from Basel, which is famed to be one of the best Christmas markets in all of Europe. But here's the catch. It's a little bit farther away at an hour-and-a-half direct train from Basel.
From Montreux, there are 2 more markets you can tack onto your itinerary, and one of them might just be our favorite one on this list. First, ride a 20-minute direct train from Montreux to the only city in Switzerland with a metro, which you'll probably find handy as you navigate the hilly streets between the train station and the markets. There are 7 very diverse markets here. Some of them are just a dozen stalls in a small square, but one offers amusement rides and one even has a unique light show. It was worth strolling through most of them, but we really enjoyed eating in Marché de Papier on Place des Pionniers. It had such cozy Christmas vibes with the bright wooden stalls and wood chip floor and terraces. If you haven't guessed it yet, we're talking about Lausanne. The best foods to try here are Malakoff, which are fried cheese balls, more fondue baguettes, Christmas waffles, raclette steak sandwiches, and more chimney cakes, of course. Lausanne is close to Montreux, but drumroll please, our next market is even closer. It's just 5 minutes away by train and one of our favorite towns on the entire Swiss Riviera. Technically, there are 2 markets here. The one in the waterfront market square is nice for dinner. After you wander the circular covered stalls, head upstairs. This restaurant is run by local farm wives who make the most delicious homemade dishes from the region. And save room for dessert because the bretzeli filled with cream and the salted caramel ice cream were worth every bite. The second market is small, with just one place to order food and one covered pavilion with crunchy wood chip floors. There were a handful of small wooden chalets you could reserve too. Now, I'm not sure if the videos do it justice, but the atmosphere of this market was so relaxed, so festive, and so local. Have you figured out where these markets are? They're in Vevey. And that second one, the Vevey Christmas Village in Place Scanavin, might be one of our favorites in the entire country. But I might be a little biased because that's where I first tried Glühwein with amaretto, which is a wintry combo of 2 of my favorite drinks.
Take an hour train from Zurich, walk on a bridge across the river, and enter one of the best medieval villages in Switzerland. Most of the streets are covered with traditional wooden stalls, Christmas lights, and trees, but there's an entire section that's completely medieval. This is Stein am Rhein, a tiny historic town that is often overlooked but totally worth considering. In fact, we stayed overnight here, and in addition to enjoying the market in the evening, we spent our days wandering the colorful town, walking across the border to Germany, and sitting on the riverfront.
If we only had time for one Swiss Christmas market, we would prioritize Basel. With time for 2, we would add Zurich or Montreux. Either fly into Zurich and enjoy the markets there and in Basel, or fly into Geneva and experience the Montreux market along with Basel. And of course, if you're coming from within Europe, you can just fly straight to Basel. Now, if we wanted to enjoy all of these markets, here's how we would construct our itinerary, which could also be done in reverse. Fly into Zurich and stay for 3 nights. That's 2 days to explore Zurich and 1 night for Stein am Rhein. Next, take a train to Basel, where you'll stay for another 3 nights. Spend 2 evenings enjoying the Basel markets and the other one in Colmar and or Strasbourg. Finally, train down to Montreux for another 3 nights. The fastest route goes through Lausanne, but we recommend riding the Golden Pass Express scenic train, which you can learn more about in this video. Give yourself 3 nights here as well, spending 1 evening in Montreux, 1 in Vevey, and 1 in Lausanne. Then you can fly out of Geneva at the end of your trip.
But what else can you do in the winter in Switzerland? Well, why not hop on a famous Swiss scenic train ride or enjoy activities in some of our favorite Swiss destinations? Merry Christmas from Aplins in the Alps, and we'll see you in Switzerland.